Well, hi there and welcome to Social Buzz Chat, like your weekly helping of social media, creativity and roundabout good chat. Who am I? I'm Adam Libonatti-Roche and Bacon Chin, and you can find me on every network as Bacon Chin. And first of all, I'm going to ask my guest host today, Ben, what do you think about, branding yourself as the same name across everything?
Oh, well, it kind of makes sense. But
Why?
It can be a bit cringy, can't it?
Why can be a bit cringy?
I mean, look, if I'm looking for someone's Instagram, you kind of want it to be the same as a Twitter. Or, I don't know. I don't think it matters.
What if it...
I think if you play around with it, like, call it, for instance, Skeptagram as his Instagram. I think that's quite cool.
That's a good way of doing it, actually. So
yeah, adding gram to it.
Does he do that for Pinterest as well? I'd love it if Skepta did actually have a Pinterest.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. I wonder what would be in his kitchen.
Yeah, what?
I wonder what would be in his dream kitchen. That'd be really nice.
There's a chance to drop a pun there, but I don't think my knowledge of Skepta's that deep.
Yeah, drop I don't know. He'd definitely have what do you call it?
Come on.
He'd definitely have a machete, I think.
Chopping up, I don't know, apples. I guess Skepta likes to eat apples. Anyway, I'm joined by Ben Anderson. If you can introduce yourself and what do you do? I'm
Ben Anderson. What do I do? Social media has always been that grey area where it's really hard to define, isn't it? No, I work as a social media consultant for artists. I work with a creative agency, and I work at a youth club. So it's quite varied.
Amazing. We'll get to the youth club bit in a sec, 'cause it's really important and you should stick around to hear about how Ben does mentoring and everything. This is Social Buzz Chat, as you know, which is part of the Drum and the Social Buzz Awards. And if you didn't know, they're now open for entry, so you can actually get all the acclaim that you want. So, your career, where did you start and how did you get to where you are today?
I started out just messing around on Facebook. It was at the time when that was the only social network, Just finished uni, did a marketing degree, and it all seemed a bit, what's a good word? It didn't seem very relevant when I left. It was quite dated, and social media was just taking the world by storm, if you like. Started as an intern for a youth magazine, started using social media as a form of sort of connecting people, promoting events. And it was really effective at the time. I think if I could compare Facebook to a platform now, it was probably like Snapchat, how it is now, where you imagine that if you do things right on there, if you create a good story on Facebook, if you created a good page, engaged with people, it would grow naturally. And it was quite an exciting time because no one really knew that was a job yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So I moved on to MTV and I was doing stuff there. I was working as an intern, as a street team coordinator and all sorts of stuff.
God, I was in street teams.
Yeah, I thought it was sick. I thought it was probably one of my favourite jobs. I actually got to work with an amazing lady who's a superstar now. You know Lupita Nyong'o?
I know the name, yeah.
Yeah, she's in 12 Years a Slave and a Star Wars film.
Yep.
Wicked, amazing actress. But she was one of the actresses in one of the films where we had like the street team set up. Anyway, after working at MTV, I sort of moved into music. I mean, I enjoyed MTV, it was great, but I think to move on, it was like, where else is social media becoming quite influential? And I think that was within musicians and within, with artists. And I think there I got working with a band called Rudimental.
Relatively new band.
Relatively
They're
new.
about to break, I think.
Oh, do you think? Yeah. Let's hope so. Fingers crossed. No, they're wicked. I mean, they're wicked subjects. They're great subjects for social, and they're all very good at it themselves. Like, the natural creativity there is amazing. So a real great group of people to work for. And I've been doing that for a few years, working with other artists along the way. And then now I work for a creative agency called UDocs. I work more around social strategy and socializing traditional campaigns, which we'll probably talk a bit more about content around and how sort of content affects, how the socializing of content has affected content itself, has affected the way video is produced and stuff like that.
Socials affected everything.
Yeah, I know, it's just came in and messed everything up.
I hate to use really twatty terms, but it's disrupted the system. It's disrupted how we, how we hug content is how you want to put it. It's like I love hugging content.
I've never hugged a piece of content.
I hug content all the time. We've got a magazine. I hug it all the time. Really? It's so beautiful. You mentioned in your origin story about mentoring and about going in the music industry. As it happens, we have 2 videos and episodes about it already. Like mentoring is with James Whatley.
My kid.
He's a good lad.
Yeah, I've met Whatley.
And Aria, who's on, like recently talking about bands and how musicians can use social media. But I want to go further into your mentoring, because it's important what you're doing, and it's also something that other people can get into as well. Could you explain it?
Yeah, so I'm a freelancer in everything that I do. Yeah. And at the beginning, a couple of years ago, I decided I wanted to get involved in something which wasn't all about promoting something. It wasn't about, it wasn't to do with the corporate world, music, anything like that. I wanted to do so. I got involved with ELAM, which was East London Arts and Music, and became a mentor there with 2 amazing young people. One of them, which is Girly, she's Girly. If you get a chance, look her up, because she's wicked. She's an artist. But then after that, I got this job at a place called Gain Control at a youth club called Platform. Really good setup. It gives studio space to young people, 13 to 19-year-olds in the local Islington area. So I sort of started working there as a mentor. I personally think it benefits me more than it benefits them. I mean, I'm sure they get a lot out of it. It keeps my knowledge fresh. Honestly, I know so much more about Snapchat now than before, because basically I'm watching young people use it, and I'm watching the way they interact. And I think just knowing what's cool in their world gives you so much more future insight. I don't even think Snapchat, I spoke to Snapchat, and they don't know how young people are using it. It's a platform, but they don't really understand how people are using it. So I get to have a direct look into that world, and it's pretty mind-boggling.
You can get more knowledge from that than reading countless amounts of blogs and thought pieces and open letters and all that crap online.
Exactly.
So what are you teaching them?
So, good question. No. There you go. No, don't say that.
Come on, be confident here. Be confident.
I talk about grime music all day, and grime music and the odd bit of social. No, I do that. But I also talk about personal development. So it's all about, I think what's important with social media is these guys have grown up in an age where they've always had it. So it's important to show them, or to let them be aware of the pros and cons of it. Like the power you have with it, with social, is pretty amazing.
It's ludicrous.
But it's ludicrous. Yeah, that's a good
it's another musician who dropped in.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Hashtag. No, but what was I saying? You threw me off with that. Ludicrous. Yeah, the pros and cons. Basically, what's important as well is the cons. The idea that everything is accountable now. Like you've got artists that are being sentenced because of things they've said in their lyrics, and affiliated with different people. So I think what it is with these young people, it's not necessarily saying that they're going to say something that's going to get them locked up, but it's more about getting them to understand the accountability of it all.
Yeah.
Understand that what they say on social can make them really successful in this day and age, but it can also be a risk. So apart from that, we literally do talk about everything. We have a lot of fun, just joke around, and along the way show them my learnings. I was mentored when I was younger as well. I was sort of brought through by a lady called Chantel Fiddy and Lawrence Latte, another amazing guy. These 2 helped me through. So it's almost.
Would you recommend others to do it, to become a mentor?
Yeah, I think only if you like talking to kids or talking to young people. Only if like you like actually doing it. If your heart's not in it, don't bother.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but if you like it, then yeah, of course. You know.
If you're interested in the idea of mentoring kids, we'll put all the information in the doobly-doos down there. And Gain Control is the one in London, in
Gain
Islington,
Control,
yeah?
a platform, and also they taught me a new term the other day. I'll do it to camera, like, because it's quite.
You want to turn them?
Have you ever heard?
Zoolander it to camera?
Have you ever heard of the Wanada? The
No.
Wanada. Basically, when you're posing for a picture, all of that sort of stuff, you just pull the one finger up, and that's Wanada. That's what it means, Wanada. So if you ever see a picture like that, that's a Wanada.
That's how we'll finish this. We'll finish the
Wanada.
whole thing by just doing that. Amazing hearing about mentoring, but we're going to pull it back round naturally into one of the questions that you decided to like. We were just chatting earlier in the pub. We're going to talk about, and everybody keeps talking about content. Everybody talks about real-time marketing and all of those buzzwords and all that bollocks. And the question was quality over timeliness. And then I was like, okay, so what basket would you put your eggs in? Like,
what basket,
would you go quality or would you go timeliness?
Personally, I think quality content always is paramount. You know, it has to be quality. I think if you've got timely content, it still has to be good content. I don't like those gig videos where it's just, you know, a wavy camera, but because it's instant, you know.
What's a wavy camera?
Like, you know, it's not a very well shot picture.
That's all I got in my head is doing.
Yeah, the wavy bottle of champers in your hand, camera in the other. I don't know.
I have that called washing the windows.
Yeah,
it's
washing
a 90s dance move, like stacking the shelves.
No, what I mean by wavy is I think if it's not a steady shot or if it's not a good video, regardless of when it's shot, I don't think it should go out. I think I work with an agency a creative agency called UDocs, and it's something that it's something that I was brought in to work with, you know, with socializing content. They do amazing video production, stills and images, but I think these days the socializing the content is becoming just as important. In the same way that, so even though I think quality over timeliness, I think the quality also comes in the way you format your stuff now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whether like an asset now has to be fit for Insta. You know, it has to be, you know, Facebook. You know, it needs to be Facebook sort of optimized. You know, and you need to create your content with that in mind. I still think it needs to be high end.
Yeah.
You know, and I think someone asked on the Twitter when we were doing it, they said define better. But I also think you need to define quality as well, because I don't think quality is always spick and span, perfect video. I think quality can be in a moment, but it's got to be relevant, and I think the relevance is probably the key.
It has to be relevant, it has to be interesting, and above all, it needs to be. It doesn't always need to be high quality. Like the Facebook Live with the Chewbacca mask, it was like the quality was great because it was a still camera, and
that's it.
Phones these days are.
But that's where quality. I think when you think about quality, I think that video is perfect for its context. Yeah. I suppose context is also part of the quality mix.
Quality context.
And timeliness is probably in there as well.
So it looks like we've got like 5 baskets.
Yeah, I've got an egg in each basket. You know, a couple more in the quality basket.
It's like a social media sideshow. It's just like chucking stuff in. Okay, thank you very much, Ben, for coming on. If you want to take your eyes to that camera and say your name and your Twitter details.
All right, my name's Ben Anderson. Follow me on Twitter, Team Banders.
What are you on Snapchat?
Team Banders.
Look, you are the same branding across everything, and you're taking me with my bacon tune.
I know. Anyway, yeah, cool. All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Thank you very much. And how do we do this?
You basically pull up, draw for the one finger. They'll appreciate this. All the under 18s that follow you now will appreciate this. But you just pull up the Wanada, and you just say Wanada.
Wanada. It's been Social Buzz Chat, and we'll see you again for next episode in 7 days' time. Hello and welcome to another episode of Social Buzz Chat here on everywhere, because we're on all the platforms now.